Hi friends, come along with us as we travel through Scotland for my 30th birthday. Our first stay was in the Scottish Highlands, so we had a 3-hour drive through the center of the country. And this is the deli in the square at the town we're staying in, Strathpeffer. We were here twice a day, for breakfast and for beer. For our first day, we headed up the eastern coast to Wick. We made a ton of stops along the coast, but my favorite were the Wallago Steps. Around 350 steps, it was constructed in the late 18th century as a port for fishermen. Women carried fish up the steep incline after the men returned from sea. The name also suggests that there were a lot of whale sightings in this area. We ended our nights in Strathpeffer eating cheesecake and Guinness and waking up to lattes and rolls at the deli. And today is my birthday, so I said, let's chase waterfalls. We stopped in Ullapool for some drinks and shopping on our way to the northern coast. We made it to Lochinver, where we had my birthday dinner, and then we saw some deer on our way home. And another Guinness before we head off to the Isle of Skye tomorrow. We woke up real early today because we had a long drive. We decided to do a loop around the Isle of Skye. Then after, we're heading to our Airbnb 30 minutes from Glencoe. This was another favorite of mine, Old Man of Store. These rock formations are featured in some movies and TV shows. Now this was quite the hike uphill with some brutal winds, but it was so worth it. Of course, there's legends and folklore, the most common being that a giant lived in the ridge and was buried with his thumb sticking out. However, my favorite is that a couple walked to the hill daily and fairies turned them into stone so they could be together forever. We made a lot of stops on the Isle of Skye, but we had a long drive to our cozy cabin in Stranmillan. After days of driving around, we decided to have a relaxing day in Oban. This was our first rainy day, so it was perfect for shopping. We found some thrift stores, bookstores, and we even did a whiskey tasting to warm us up. And of course, we stopped at the local pub for some Guinness and we played dominoes. We honestly got so lucky with the weather here. The sun is shining once again. I think the cozy cabin was everyone's favorite. These were our most relaxing days. We even had a waterfall in the backyard. Dylan and Lena even made us dinner this night, and I think this is a perfect time to show you all the food we've eaten. On our way to our third stay, we stopped to see some Highland cows. Our last day was between Glasgow and Edinburgh. This is Oreo, the barn cat, at our stay here on a horse farm. We had a chill night because tomorrow we're spending our last day in Edinburgh. We started our day in Edinburgh at this little cafe, and then next door I went to get a tattoo. We spent this day walking all over the city and just seeing everything that we could see. This is basically Diagon Alley from Harry Potter, so we did a lot of shopping here. Lena found this cool little market full of small creators. This was my favorite place to shop, of course. And then we stopped at the National Gallery of Scotland. These pencil and pen drawings are my absolute favorite. We finished our last evening with some drinks and packing up for departure tomorrow. We dropped Dylan and Lena off at the airport and then went out for breakfast in Glasgow before our flight. Thank you, Scotland, for the adventures, the food, and the sunshine. We'll see you next time.